Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, January 5th. And if we look at the headlines over the next several days, more cold air, more snow showers, especially in the snow belt areas where several more inches of snow could fall with mainly trace amounts once you get inland. And it's going to be, again, very cold with highs only in the teens today, and tomorrow we'll get into the 20s perhaps over the weekend with another impulse coming through that could bring some more showers, snow showers Friday night into Saturday. And then we're going to look at some warm air trying to move this way towards the Great Lakes here early next week, and that could bring possibly several inches of snow to much of the MAC area as we see more in the way of a synoptic system. And then not a lot of cold air behind that. We're going to be in a battle zone, looks like, over the next week to 10 days. And we may be a few degrees above normal, so any systems are going to have to be watched for the rain snow line. And we do expect to become a little bit more active as we get towards the end of next week. And again, more cold air looks like it's heading this way towards the middle of the month, but we're going to relax our temperatures here once we get into next week. If we look at the normals for the day, our normal high is 28, the normal is low is 13. And for the second day in a row back in 1981, we had a record low. Today's record low is 15 degrees below zero back then. And if we look at the conditions around the mid-Michigan area yesterday, you can see some clouds and some sunshine along with some snow showers that came through the area. And you can see our train being loaded here as we look at it in time lapse. We had a high of 35, a low of 15, just a little bit of precipitation, a couple tenths of an inch of snow, and we have a trace of snow on the ground right now. And again, some pretty good snow showers moving through much of the state yesterday, especially once you got over towards the western part of the region. If we look at the winter wheat protective snowpack, you can see most of our snow is now gone, just trace amounts. And as we see these very cold conditions across the area over the next several days, hopefully we'll get some more snow, and I think we will early next week. And then again, if we can maintain that, I think we'll become more active as we get towards the middle of the month with more good snow opportunities at that time. If we look at the coldest and warmest temperatures across the lower 48 yesterday, the warm spot 86 degrees at Marathon, Florida, and the cold spot 26 degrees below zero at Indigo Mar, Montana. And if we look at conditions around the MAC area closer to home yesterday, temperatures mainly in the mid-30s. And again, the the warm spot 3 Celsius over at London, and the cold spot 11 degrees above zero at Newaygo, with many temperatures down into the teens. In fact, these temperatures right now are the highest so far for the day at midnight. And if we look at the conditions around the area this morning, you can see temperatures mainly in the low to mid-teens across much of the area, a little warmer to the southeast, but again, pretty cold out there. And you can see the winter weather advisories that are currently in effect. And across northwest lower Michigan, even some winter storm warnings continue. But again, I think we'll see a few counties begin to get dropped out of this as we move on into the afternoon. And then again, we'll see another impulse come through the area as we get into late Friday into early Saturday. It could bring more in the way of snow showers at that time. And you can see wind chill readings out there, pretty cold this morning. Some areas below zero, Breckenridge or towards Marlette and Brown City and Henderson. And the coldest spot so far early this morning was -6 at 4:40 a.m. over at Marlette. If we look at the radar, you can see the Great Lakes snow machine is very alive and active across all the Great Lakes. It's about downwind from the kind of a northwest flow area right now, and you can see our I-94, I-96 lake band going well inland, as is often the case. And if we look at the low-level wind fields, you can see why we have that persistent area quite often across the I-94 corridor, making it quite a ways eastward into the state, as we have a slightly northwest or southwest flow. In this section where the lake is quite wide, we have a longer duration of that going across that lake, helping to develop more in the way of snow showers, versus if we were to have a straight westerly wind. You can see in some parts of the area where the width of the lake is not all that extensive. And if we look at the weather map this morning, you can see the most active area is going to be across the southern U.S., where some areas not used to getting a lot of snow will have a chance for several inches of snow. I think especially once you get into the Carolinas up into Virginia, you can see several inches of snow there over the next 36 to 48 hours. And you can see by tomorrow morning's map, low pressure system moving along the Gulf Coast will create some sleet, freezing rain, and snow into the southeast states. And if we look at the map on Friday, that low pressure system will exit the Carolinas. Again, pretty good swath of heavy snow up into the Carolinas, into southeast Virginia, where some areas could see 4 to 6 inches of snow, along with some icing across portions of South Carolina. And if we look at the rainfall here, or the liquid equivalent precipitation over the next 7 days. Not a very extensive, heavy amount, but 3, 4, 5/10 of an inch of liquid equivalent. And when that snow starts early in the week, it could be about 15-to-1 snowfall ratios, dropping down to about 10-to-1. And again, many areas could see anywhere between 1 to 3, 2 to 4, maybe even 3 to 5 inches of snow. And that's been pretty consistent on the model, so we'll keep an eye on that. As far as some of the individual models, yesterday afternoon, the GFS showing much of the area picking up between 2 to as much as 5 inches of snow across the MAC area, heavier amounts. This would also include the current lake effect going on, but for the inland areas, this would be for that warm air advection snow early next week. And if we look at the overnight run, again, about 2 to 5 inches across much of the areas, so not a big change on the GFS. And as far as the Canadian model yesterday, showing some of the heavier snows across mid-Michigan, a little less as you get down into the southeast part of the state, but the overnight models now indicate that all the area looks like a good chance, again, from around anywhere from 2 inches to maybe as much as 4 or 5 inches. So we'll continue to monitor. There's plenty of time for things to change, but as it looks right now, it looks like we do have a good chance for accumulating snows. The best period for that snow to fall, I think, is going to be in that Tuesday time period, give or take a day either side of that. And on the weather watch, you can see, first of all, up into the upper Great Lakes, the Midwest, back into the plains, a large area of wind chill advisories where temperatures could fall down to minus 30 degrees below zero as far as wind chills. And then this big area here from that southern storm creating some snow and ice conditions across portions of the southern Ohio Valley down into the Tennessee Valley into the southeast states. And for Michigan, again, the continuation of our lake effect snow advisories across much of the area, winter storm warnings up into northwest lower Michigan, and lake effect warnings across much of the eastern portions of Lake Superior snowbell areas. And again, downwind of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, again, a lot of snow there as well. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.